In this video, we will look at smart buttons. We can add a button to the materials by using the drop-down menu in the Trims part of the Resource tabs. There are additional buttons in the libraries. Let's assign a button. Using the Assign tool, we click where we want to place the button. Then we click where we want to place the buttonhole. Dressing the garment, we will see the buttons. Here's a second way of assigning buttons that can be useful when assigning buttons to pieces that are not symmetrical. First, we turn off textures. Then we overlap pattern pieces so that the intended placement points for the buttons are aligned one over the other. Then, we assign the button, but this time we click twice on the button location. This places the button on both pieces. Note, once a smart button is assigned, the piece layer and collision type are adjusted automatically to match the button and buttonhole. Let's look at button actions. We use the Select tool to click on the button in the 2D window, and then the context view displays button actions. For example, we can precisely adjust the position of a button by typing in the value we want in the X or Y text box. Remember that we can select multiple buttons and move them in the same way. We can rotate a buttonhole image using the rotation angle or with the gizmo. We can decide if we want the button image to display as unbuttoned or buttoned. Click Dress to see the change. Flip changes the side where the buttons and buttonholes are applied. Move to lets us choose if we want the buttons on the inside or the outside of the garment. In graded garments, with the Visible in Sizes feature, we choose which buttons appear on which sizes. The Clone by Offset feature allows us to select one button and create one or multiple copies at a specific distance from one another. Now let's look at customizing buttons. To start, we select the button on the Resource tabs. The button details are displayed in the context view. We can edit the button mass using the Physics button. If we want all pieces of the button to be the same color, we select Single Color. The button, each thread, and buttonhole can be recolored separately. We can use the 3D Trim Editor to check the connector settings. On the Geometry tab, we can adjust the object size. Note that the chain means the size measurements are linked. When we change any one measurement, the others are automatically proportionately adjusted. If we want to adjust one measurement independently, we click to unlink the measurements, and we click again to link them. Below the buttons are the texture maps. To remove a smart button, select the button or buttonhole and press Delete. We can also replace the smart button 3D object with a custom 3D object button. We drag the new button over the smart button we want to replace. A menu opens asking which object we would like to replace, and we choose Button. Now we have a custom smart button. We can use the same technique with the buttonhole images. In this video, you've learned how to use smart buttons. For more information, check out the Browseware Help Center.